Good morning, everyone. Happy midweek. I'm going to give everyone just a moment to join. So if you are joining live, please take a moment to drop hello in the comment box. Say hi, let me know where you're joining in from. I know that we have people that will be joining from all over the world. It's so amazing to be here with you all. I haven't gone live in a while. And it's been kind of a wild month, to be honest. I think if some of you have been following me here on Instagram, you know that I have been, I'm officially complete with my egg freezing journey. I just went through freezing my eggs at 37, and I've documented the whole process. So the beautiful thing is that I'm going to be sharing that process with all of you, because there were a lot of questions that came in around how did you know that you were ready? How did you choose the right doctor and clinic to do your egg freezing with? What was the preparation prior to freezing your eggs? What did it look like to give yourself injections? How did you get over the fear of needles? What happened post egg retrieval, which I'm still documenting now, because I'm about a week and a couple of days post egg retrieval and finally starting to feel like I'm coming back into my body. According to my doctor and everyone else, the hormone surges after the retrieval are pretty gnarly and worse than pre-egg retrieval, which hasn't necessarily been the case for me. I think pre-retrieval was pretty gnarly as far as mood was concerned. But all in all, I am a week and a couple of days post-retrieval, and I'm starting to feel my body come back into homeostasis, which feels really, really great. So I'm going to be sharing all of that with you guys. And I know I've had some questions about how I'm feeling. I'm feeling much better. I was cleared to work out this week. I'm back on my normal eating schedule. And I'm starting to feel, it's crazy what consistency can do when you aren't, like, I've always been an avid yogi, weightlifter. I just love to move. I love movement. And I was only allowed to walk for about 2.5 weeks because I had so much estrogen. My ovaries had produced so much estrogen in my ovaries, and the follicles got so big that I was at risk for torsion in my ovaries. And so I couldn't do anything that was high impact, which was killer. It was like honestly, that was the hardest part. And so Monday, I was cleared to actually go back into the gym and start lifting heavy again. So that felt really, really great. So all in all, I'm feeling much better. For those of you who missed the announcement, I was able to extract 21 healthy, mature eggs, and they are now on ice. And now I have options, and I have the ability to not feel like I'm on a timeline, which is a really, really beautiful feeling. So I'm going to be talking way more about that in the upcoming weeks. I'm even creating a course for you guys, for anyone who's interested in the egg retrieval process, and it feels really scary and overwhelming. I am going to be documenting the entire process from beginning to end, along with support that you can have as you navigate the journey, because it is, I'll tell you, it's really, I could not imagine going through this process alone. Like, thank goodness I had Nathan with me to ground me and also help me with the injections, because there were days when you get close to retrieval, you're doing 3 injections a day, and you only have so many areas on your belly that you can inject. And so I had a meltdown about 2 days before my retrieval, because I was just, my whole belly was bruised. I felt like I was pregnant. I was like, my belly was distended, because that's what the fertility drugs do. And he had to, on a couple of occasions, give me injections because I couldn't do it. I was just like maxed out. So it's really, really wonderful to have support. And my hope for putting this program together for you guys is that you feel like you have somebody to hold your hand through this process, help you ask the right questions to pick the right doctors, ask the right questions to make sure that the medication that you are being given is in alignment with what you need, that you're really well educated on what happens the day of retrieval. Also, something that I'm going to be talking about too, I firmly believe that part of the reason that I had the wild success that I had with the amount of eggs that I was able to extract was because of the work that I did prior to freezing my eggs. I worked with a company called Femgevity, and I worked on getting my gut in order. I worked on eliminating parasites. I worked on balancing my hormones prior to wrecking my hormones. I worked on food sensitivity and really getting my body into a space where it was feeling really great and really healthy. And I swear, I think that's what did it. So, and I'm going to be working with them again to get my body back to homeostasis post retrieval. So I'll be talking about that too. So that's the egg retrieval update, because I know that many of you have been asking me questions about it. And just stay tuned, because over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be quite a bit of content on my page dropping about the process itself. And we'll hopefully answer any questions you have. And if you have questions, you can always DM me. You all know that I'm an open book, and I'm here to answer any questions you have. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to go over. That's the big life update. Egg retrieval is over. We've made it to May. May's a wild month for me. Nathan and I are heading to Michigan for his best friend's wedding next week. And then I come back for one day, and then I head to Ariel, which is in the BVI, to lead my Align retreat with 12 beautiful women. And I'm so excited. So excited. The island is gorgeous, and I'm ready to transform some lives. So that's what's happening in May. Wild month. And let's also talk about the big announcement that I posted 2 days ago, which is that if you saw last week, I've been talking for a few weeks about a program that I was launching called the Soft Life Year. And in short, what the Soft Life Year was 12 masterclasses. So it was going to be a masterclass every single month for the next year. That was all based in nervous system alignment work and really getting you to step fully into creating a soft life for yourself. And I'll be honest, I came up with this really brilliant idea about 2 months ago, when I was just kind of feeling, I had been starting the pre-fertility drugs, I'll say that, and I was just kind of feeling stagnant in the business. We had a really low month, and I wanted to create something new. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the backstory as to why I canceled it is really important. So I came up with the idea to launch Soft Life Year a couple months ago when the business was having a low month. And I really felt like, okay, if I create something new, it will get people more excited and more invigorated, and they'll flood in. What I didn't take into account was 6 months prior, my team and I had a meeting, and I have an incredible OBM named Kate. And at the beginning of every year, she always asks, like, what are our big goals for this year? Like, what do we want to accomplish? How do you want to feel? What's the vision for the business this year? And an identity that I had claimed about 6 months ago was I wanted to create more space. I myself wanted to slow down. And that meant creating more actual space inside of my business. Like, I am so blessed to have a full roster of one-on-one clients. I am so blessed to be able to lead the collective programs. We have 2 calls every week. I am so blessed to pour into my home membership and the women who are inside there with trainings every month and SE calls every month. But I realized about midway through the year last year that if I wanted to call in a family and I wanted to call in deep partnership, that I needed to have space. Because up until this point in creating this business, I have hustled my way to success. And what I mean by that is that, and I think a lot of women do this. A lot of men do this too. When you first build a business, you are working in the business. You were in the business from morning until night. And when I was single, that worked really well because I love working, and I could occupy my time with, okay, it's a Friday night and I don't really feel like going out with friends, I'm just going to open up my laptop and I'm going to create, or I'm going to pour into my women. And so I recognized about a year ago that if I really wanted a family and I really wanted presence in my life, that life probably wasn't going to work, because on Fridays, if I have a family, I'm going to need to be with my family. And on Wednesday nights, I'm going to have to make dinner for the family. And on Saturdays, I'm probably going to be with the family traveling. And so I set the intention a year ago to create more space in my life and in my business. And I'm telling you right now, it was so stinking hard. It was so hard, because my go-to pattern is, oh, there's a lull, or oh, there's a low month. Well, let's just create something new and people will flock to it, and then we can have a revenue bump and everything will be great, right? I go into a flight pattern of creation. And so about halfway through last week, as I was launching Soft Life Year, I was in it, I was writing a post, and I noticed that I could not breathe. I was like, there is so much constriction. Why is nothing flowing out of me right now? Like, why is nothing coming to the surface about this program that I need to say out loud? And as I paused and I sat with it and I honored and I used all the tools that I teach all of the women inside of my containers, and I started to listen to my body, I realized there was a lot of constriction. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just this moment. I'm going to walk away from this and let me see if it continues throughout the day. And a couple hours later, I got on my stories to talk about Soft Life Year, and I noticed like I kept distracting myself. I kept doing other things. And I realized that day, and this was on Friday, I think, like there's a lot of constriction here. What is going on? Like, what is happening right now? And so I paused and I was like, maybe this program is not at all what I actually want. I don't know. I'm just going to put that out there. Maybe this is not what feels in alignment to where I want to go. And my OBM Kate, who I love dearly, then said to me, she was like, hey, I didn't want to say anything, but when you brought this to the table a couple months ago, it's kind of against everything that we said at the beginning of the year of wanting to create space. Like, here you are. You have now committed to 12 masterclasses that you're going to have to promote and show up for and teach, and every single month. And so it's the opposite of what we decided at the beginning of the year that you wanted for yourself. And I realized in that moment that a year ago, 6 months ago, I had claimed a new identity for myself. That new identity was birthed in more space, more freedom, right? Less creating new things and more optimizing what we have to create space so that I can go be with my family on a weekend and not have to create something so that we can bring revenue in. And so I realized in that moment when she said that to me, I got off the call, I realized in that moment, like, whoa, I created the Soft Life here, not from the new identity of Lauren, who has freedom and space, but from the old identity of Lauren, who has a flight pattern of creating something so that she can have an instant result, which is the definition of flight. It is urgency. And I was like, I'm going to sit with this weekend because this is really big. I've recognized that I created this entire thing out of an old identity, an old pattern that was attached to that identity. And what I'm more committed to is this new identity, even though it's not fully in our reality yet. And I teach this to all the women inside of my containers, right? This is why I say manifestation doesn't work if you don't have nervous system tools. Because if you, let's say you're manifesting a life with more freedom and more space, okay? And you did exactly what I did. Most people don't have the tools to recognize, like, whoa, there's constriction here. Something isn't in alignment. And so when I sat with it through the weekend and I recognized, I came with the terms of what would happen if I just canceled it? What would happen if I just refunded everyone's money and I just let it go? I started to notice that ease began to open up in my body. Safety started to arrive. And as I sat with it on Saturday and as I sat with it on Sunday, I realized I had no other choice but to cancel the launch. It wasn't in alignment with where I want to go. And I'll be truthful and honest, like from a revenue standpoint, it's hard, because when you are in a lull and that has been your go-to survival response for a long time, and you know that you can make money that way. There were many of you that signed up for Soft Life Year, many of you. And people, you guys wanted it. I had almost 100 of you on the wait list. And it was out of alignment. And I knew in that moment, and I preach this all the time to every woman that I serve, when you choose and you claim a new identity, you will be given opportunities. You will be given choice points that will be an opportunity to either choose the old identity or choose the new identity. And most of the time, you will subconsciously choose the old identity because it's what's familiar. It's what your nervous system is accustomed to. But the real work is recognizing it, not shaming yourself for it, but recognizing it, and then choosing the new identity and trusting that because you chose the new identity, even though the results you desire aren't in your current reality, because you chose the new identity, you chose the frequency associated with it. And your reality is a reflection of your most predominant frequency. So this is what it looks like to manifest from nervous system awareness. Right? I realized halfway through a launch that it wasn't in alignment. It was in alignment with my old identity, which had a frequency. And I'm going to tell you that frequency was not fun. My whole body went into constriction. And I knew, wait a second, we've got to abort ship. Honor nervous system awareness and how your body shows up. And so on Monday, what's happening? Poor connection. On Monday, I made the big announcement that the Soft Life Year was closed. And I refunded all the women who enrolled. I refunded all of their money, or I reallocated their money to a different program that was already on board. And we closed it down. And what's so funny is that the program was called the Soft Life Year. And there was nothing soft about that creation, which is wild to me. But what was soft was honoring the decision that I needed to close it. So it's just crazy how the universe works. And so that is why the Soft Life Year is no longer. I'm still living a very soft life year over here. And my goal as a practitioner is to also lead you into that place. But we already have programs that do that. You can come into the collective program. You can come into the home membership. I'm going to be releasing a live self-study course, which is already completed. We're not recreating the wheel. This was already on the docket, called the How-To Guide to Calling in Love After 30. That's going to be happening in June 9th is when it is going to start. I'm going to be doing some dating app audits live on May 27th. So you can come into that program. And it is it's a lower ticket offer for you to really experience this work if you're ready. But my commitment this year is to continue to lean into softening and to continue to lean into freedom and spaciousness and to lead from that space, to guide you into that space. And so that is why the Soft Life Year has closed, because I am more committed to the new identity of creating space and freedom than I am to the old identity, which was hustle. Because listen, y'all, and I'm sure that many of you can relate to this. Many of you high-performing women can relate to this. We can make money. If our feet are held to the fire, we can make it because we know we're powerful. But, it doesn't always mean that we make it from an aligned place. And that is the shift that I want to invite all of you into, is noticing the difference between showing up in your dating life, showing up as a leader, showing up for yourself and your health, doing it from a space of true safety, from a place of true alignment, versus hustle and what you know will move the needle, what you know you can perform to achieve, but won't actually give you the spaciousness and the freedom and the safety that you deeply desire. So That is why the Soft Life year is closed. I love you all. And for most of you who came into Soft Life year, you're now transitioning into other programs that are already alive for us. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for being so generous. I had so many beautiful comments come in, like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for being an example of what it's like to lead from integrity. And that will always be my number one value. Integrity is one of I have 3 really strong values in my life. Integrity is one of them. And I always vow to lead from that space. So hope everyone has a beautiful week. If you have any questions about this, by all means, send them to me. And if you want to get on the wait list for the step-by-step guide to falling in love after 30, please drop the word magic underneath this video and I'll add you to the wait list. Again, like I said, I'm going to be doing dating app audits on the 27th, and then the actual live, it'll be a self-study once it's done live, but the actual live program will start on June 9th. And you have lifetime access to it. There's 12 modules. There will be 12 videos, 12 workbooks. It is robust. Like each workbook for each module is close to 20 to 30 pages. So it really is every single step I took to call in healthy, conscious love in my life. And I'm going to give you all the insider details. So you're going to get access to all of it. So, and I'll tell you this, the program's going to be under $300, which is bananas. I've never ever put anything out to the world that is that low. So get on the wait list, because if you're on the wait list, you're also going to get early bird pricing. Okay. I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And thanks for joining me live. Talk to you guys soon.